Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a series review on The Pretty Trilogy by Jenny Han. The three books are The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. I gave all three books 4.5 out of 5 stars. They were super light, super easy to read. I finished this series in less than 48 hours, so if that says anything, it's pretty fast-paced. I'm gonna kind of give you guys a little bit of a non-spoiler review first, really only focusing on the first book because the rest would be spoilers. But then after that we're gonna have a discussion regarding the whole series. So our main character in this book's name is Belly, and Belly is 15 when the series starts out, and I believe she's in her early 20s when the series ends. Belly has spent every single summer of her 15 years going to this beach house in Cousins that her mom's best friend owns. She goes with her mom and her brother Steven, and then she meets up there with her mom's best friend, obviously, and her two sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. Ever since Belly was a little girl, she's had this huge crush on Conrad, but he's never really looked at her like the way she looks at him. He's like 2.5 years older than her. But this summer, when she's 15, she grows up a little bit. She gets pretty, as the title suggests, and boys start noticing her. Conrad starts noticing her, Jeremiah starts noticing her, and other boys too. Now Belly's kind of in this conflict. There's a little bit of a love triangle, as you could probably guess, of which boy to go after, which boys actually like her, what's going on. She's confused because she's never really been pretty. She's always felt like one of the guys. We get to learn a lot more about Belly within the whole series and her relationships and everything like that. So I just really enjoyed this series. I know you guys recommended it to me 1,010 times and I wasn't gonna read it, and I finally decided to pick it up, and I obviously really enjoyed it, and I think you guys will enjoy it too if you haven't read it yet. But I'm gonna say bye to non-spoiler people. Hope you enjoyed the little synopsis. I'll leave the Goodreads link to the first book in the description below in case you want to read a little bit more of a description. And yeah, I'm gonna start the discussion now, so bye non-spoiler people. I was about 2 chapters into this book when I decided that I was Team Conrad. Okay, honestly, I want to know what you guys' opinions are on this too, because I was Team Conrad from the get-go. I don't know what it is. I always tend to go for the badder, more disturbed type boys, and Jeremiah just seemed like this average teen boy, and then Conrad was like the darker one, the one that's got a little bit of an edge, and I always tend to go for them. And I thought it was super cute how she had always had the crush on him, and I knew that they would have to end up together. I thought it was pretty obvious from the first book that she would end up with Conrad. I absolutely loved all of the characters in this book. I loved Belly. I thought she was super fun, super cute, and she really developed as a character. She got older and she grew up, and I just loved her. I loved the 2 boys, Conrad and Jeremiah, obviously. I loved both of them. Even though I wasn't really rooting for Jeremiah, I still loved him. He was really cute, adorable kind of guy, really funny. I loved the 2 moms. Laurel was an amazing mother. I thought she was so great. I really enjoyed the relationship her and Belly had, and the contrast between Susanna and, you know, Belly's mom, Laurel. I loved Susanna as well. I thought that the 2 moms were like completely relatable. Like everybody knows a Susanna, everybody knows a Laurel, and I thought that was perfect. The first book was really good. I did like it. I know that in this book she kind of ends up with Conrad a little bit, I believe, at the end. But then we get to the second book, and this book, guys, I was crying so hard the whole book. I don't know what happened, but it starts out and she's like, I'm not with Conrad, Susanna's dead. I was like, oh my god, like I was a mess. I was a huge mess. I was crying the whole book. Basically, I was crying during all of the funeral stuff, all of the mom stuff, when she tells her mom that she wishes Susanna was her mother. Oh my god, I was like, she did not just say that. That's so terrible. And I was just like heartbroken. And then when her and Jeremiah go on the little road trip to try to find Conrad because he fled school, and they find him back at Cousins and they stay there with him, and they're like, what are you doing? You're jeopardizing your future. And then they find out that he's just there to try to save the house. And I was like, Conrad, like, I love you. Like, I love him so much. You could obviously tell that even though he didn't show it too much, he loved his mother and he loved that house and he loved spending his summers in Cousins, so he didn't want to say goodbye to it. And I thought that was so cute, and I loved him for it. Even though he turned into a total D-bag at the end of the book when she's like, I still love you, and he's like, no, what we had, it was never real. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it was. Like, you're lying to yourself. We all know it. And then he gives Jeremiah permission to go after, you know, Belly, because he's liked her too, because she's so beautiful. And I was like, no, okay, no. Like, I know some people were probably Team Jeremiah by this point, but I was like, no, Conrad, you need to get it together, and then you need to go back to Belly, because you two are meant to be together. Like, what? The second book ends, and then they're, like, together, and then we get to the third book, and it's, like, 2 years have passed. I was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that at all. And she's, like, finishing up her freshman year of college, and her and Jeremiah have been together for 2 years. I thought that was ridiculous. And then you find out about the cheating, and I was like, oh my god, like, that's so out of character for Jeremiah. It kind of was like, I would have expected it from Conrad, but not Jeremiah. So you can see he's kind of turned into this typical frat guy going to Cabo and cheating on his girlfriend. And then she takes him back, like, literally days later, and then she gets engaged to him. I thought that was kind of unrealistic, to be honest. I was kind of surprised. I was like, literally, she just found out that he was cheating on her, and then he's like, let's get married. And she's like, okay. Like, no. Like, probably not, Belly. Probably not. That was not a smart move. And everyone was anti-wedding. Laura was anti-wedding. I was so anti-wedding. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is so stupid. Like, you literally, you're 19. Oh, she was 18, wasn't she? She was 18. Finished her freshman year of college and she wants to get married. Like, that's crazy. And to somebody that she just found out cheated on her in Cabo, I was like, are you kidding me? And then when her mother is super unsupportive, so she just, like, moves out and she goes to cousins and Conrad's staying there, I knew. Like, I knew something was gonna happen. I like, thought they were gonna, like, hook up or something and there was gonna be so much drama, but that didn't really exactly happen. But we did get to see into Conrad's perspective of things and how he actually was, like, dying because he's still in love with her, and I was like, yeah, obviously, like, let's be real. You kind of see her getting kind of nervous about the wedding, and she's like, am I making the right decision? And at that point, I knew there was going to be no wedding. And then, you know, Conrad admits his love to her, and I was like, oh my god, and she was like, had a pretty good reaction. She was like, probably not, Conrad, you've ruined everything. You already told me you don't love me anymore. I'm so done with you. You're playing games. And Conrad's like, no, but I really love you. And then Jeremiah finds out because she tells him, and then he runs away like the day of the wedding, and all this crazy stuff happens. Oh my goodness. And then the wedding didn't happen. And I knew the wedding wasn't gonna happen, to be honest. Like, from the time that they got engaged, I knew it wasn't gonna happen. It's not that I didn't like Jeremiah, it's just that I really liked Conrad, so I was really happy that the wedding didn't happen. But the reason I absolutely loved the ending to the third book is that it wasn't like her and Jeremiah aren't getting married, so then, like, her and Conrad can be together. It was like 4 years later. Belly had grown up, Conrad had grown up. You see a lot of character development through Conrad. Conrad was very immature, he was very, like, didn't know how to treat a woman, and then he gets to his late 20s-ish area and the 4 years have passed and he's ready to have this relationship with Belly, and I thought it was so cute. I thought it was super important that Belly got to take time for herself, you know, go traveling, finish college, kind of find herself, and then Conrad came to her, which I think was super important. She was done chasing after him, but if he came to her, she was ready. And I loved how the book ended with them getting married, and the letter from Susanna touched my heart greatly, and she was like, I hope you'll be a fisher, but if not, he'll still be lovely. And I was like, he is a fisher though, so it's great. And I was really happy that Jeremiah, you know, was at the wedding, and he was happy too, it seemed, and everybody was just happy, so that was really, really great. I just thought it was such a satisfying ending. I think the book ended perfectly. I didn't need more. I felt happy. I was good with where it ended, and I really enjoyed it. Overall, I highly enjoyed all 3 books. I think my favorite was the second one. I know a lot of people talk about the first one and the last one being their favorites, but I really did enjoy the second one. I thought it was super important to the whole series, how they kind of saved the house together. I thought it was very cute. Yes, the second one was my favorite. I also liked all of them. I don't know, like, they're all my favorites. I'm so happy you guys told me to read this series. I really enjoyed how relatable the series was to me. I think anybody could relate to Belly in the situations that she went through, but especially for me, I actually grew up going to a beach house every single summer till I was 15, and I stayed with a bunch of boys, not in any romantic situations going on. I'm not going to get married to any of the boys, but I did stay with 4 boys in a beach house with my mom, and growing up every single summer, so I thought that was kind of weird how, you know, relatable that was, but I think it's really awesome, and I could totally picture all of the things happening, and I could picture the beach house and the beach being right there on the shore and everything, so I thought it was super great for picturesqueness of, like, the whole series. I could really picture it well, and I really related to Belly as a character, which I believe is why I loved her so much. I loved Belly. She didn't get annoying for me, which I find with a lot of books, the main girl gets so annoying to me, but I didn't find that with the series. I really grew attached to all of the characters, and overall I really, really enjoyed the series. So thank you, all of you, for commenting 1,000 times telling me to read the series. I'm very happy that you guys did that. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this book series down below. Make sure you leave an asterisk with spoiler in case there's people down there that haven't finished the series that don't want to be spoiled. So yes, I'd be very appreciative if you did that. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I'll talk to you guys all very, very soon. Bye!